Ah, who is this strange man on your screen? Oh, let's sing the word with TJ McCormick. Yes, I'm real. That is real. And this morning we are going to be singing a very new old song called The Light Was the Light, The Life Was the Light of Men. And let's just get to it. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him, nothing came into being that was come into being. In him was life, and the life was the light of man. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him, nothing came into being that has come into being. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. And the life was the light of man. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. It did not comprehend it. Well, as you know, Sing the Word, or maybe you don't know, Sing the Word is a Bible lyric song adventure I have started really 40-ish years ago. I was really inspired by a Bible study, a worship leader, and he just wrote all these great songs, and they were pretty much straight lyrics out of the Bible, and I thought that's really a good idea. Never really thought about it until the past few years, and here I am singing more and more songs. And today, the song we're singing is a new one. Let's say newer. I wrote it back in December, late December. And the light was the light. I'm sorry, the life was the light of men. That is a tongue twister, I tell you. The life was the light of men. And this life, of course, is Jesus Christ. Praise his name, honor, glory, power ascribed to you. This is the story of Jesus in 2 minutes. Sorry about that. All right, enough of that. Little sip. In the beginning was the Word. You know this verse. John 1:1. It's like everybody knows it. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. Now, why did John say these 4 things? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word is Logos and refers to Jesus. It's one of his names, if you will. The Word. And in the beginning was Jesus, and Jesus was with God, and Jesus was God. Jesus was in the beginning with God. So in the beginning was the Word. Interesting statement. The beginning of what? It's not really clear, but basically, man has existed all these years living in time. And I don't know if a lot of us ever consider the idea of time, but we just kind of accept it. We just say, well, today is January 20th, 2022. It's approximately 8:20 in the morning. So, what is time? What is this time? Well, we made it up. It's not 8:20 in the morning. It's not January 20th, 2022. It is references to points that we have ascribed to certain times. So time really doesn't exist in the sense that it doesn't exist in our little petty minds, calendars and clocks and all that stuff. We made those up because we live in this marching into the future thing, and we call it time. So in the beginning, was it the beginning of time? So understand, time had a point in time when it was not there. This is getting a little weird for you too early in the morning. Did you have your coffee? If you didn't, you're probably looking at me like I'm a nut. But let me explain. So just think about this for a second. In the beginning is a reference point to us. It's talking to us, but God doesn't need that reference point, because if you are pre-existent, whoa, what does that mean? Pre-existent is the idea that you have always existed. You are a pre-existent being, and you will be a existence really doesn't even apply to you. But again, I'm getting a little weird. The idea is, in the beginning was Jesus, and Jesus was with God. So remember that we, as Christians, love and honor a triune God. And Jesus was not only with God, Jesus was God. So what does that mean? Well, the fellowship of the Trinity is something that we have conjectured about and wondered about, but in the end, it's basically one God thing in three displays, three iterations. And Jesus is no less God than the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is no less God than God the Father. So we have the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. Okay, now, in the beginning was the Word, and he was in the beginning with God. So basically, John, my guess is he's speaking to the Hebrew type mindset. And the Hebrew mindset was like Jehovah. We have Jehovah God. And we don't, the Hebrews didn't, I don't think they thought of God as the Holy Spirit, as God the Father, as God the Son. But I think they thought of God as Jehovah. And this is sort of the group the group of one. So I have talked way too long about the first part of this verse. Now let's get into some really easy stuff. All things came into being through Jesus. What do you think about that? Now that is crazy. But it's not, because we have a creator God. We have a God who has given us molecules and DNA and cotton and all the stuff he gives us. It's amazing. All things came into being through him, and apart from him, nothing came into being that has come into being. In him was life. 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 DNA, molecules, RNA, chromosomes, um, livers and kidneys and toes. Life. In him was life. He breathed life into animals, plants, humans. Now, here's the part that kind of gives me cause to pause. So, cause to pause here. And the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness. Well, what is the darkness? Well, the darkness is the hearts of evil men, of wicked men, of men of the world. And they live without the light of life. And when you live without the light of life, then you live in the darkness of death. So here we are. We see that John is already calling out. The darkness did not comprehend it. Remember, the it is Jesus. This whole thing is about Jesus. The light of and the life was the light of men. The capital light is Jesus. I am the light of the world. Jesus said that. And here John is just affirming that idea that Jesus is the light. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love Jesus. The light shines in the darkness. And if you know anything about light, light just kind of says, is there darkness here? Nah, not anymore. Poof, and the light goes. It's amazing how beautiful light is, especially in the middle of the night, in the midst of absence of light. Have you ever been in a dark place? There is just absolutely no light, and then you turn on the light, and it's like poof, just becomes revealed. You see all the things revealed in the light. It's amazing. I love having Jesus shine his light in my life because my life is not pure and I need his light all the time, especially in the dark crevices of my mind, places where I've held grudges and bitterness towards people, where I haven't forgiven people. And we need to forgive and forgive. And people who have harmed us and injured us, people who might have tried to take our lives even, we need to have just, again, radical, you know, forgiveness. Has to be God's forgiveness. And we do that by shining light on these things. And God will shine light. Trust me, the truth cannot be hidden. The truth cannot be discarded. It cannot be. The truth must appear, and it must appear in light. And that's Jesus' light. So if you've got darkness in your life, if you've got junk in your life, don't try to cover it. Just rip the tarp off. Just say, God, I need you to shine your light. How about right there in my heart? The life was the light of men, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. Didn't comprehend Jesus. But we can, through his Holy Spirit, we can comprehend what Jesus has for us. This is, of course, Sing the Word. This is, of course, your host, T.J. McCormick, wishing you a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. I'm sorry we don't have a 2 or 3 for Thursday today, but we are going to come back hopefully tomorrow, God willing. And until then, Admonish one another with psalms, hymns, spiritual songs. Sing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. God bless you. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.